What's poppin', everyone? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers here today with our Week 5 battle of the GBA. And this time we're going to be taking on my man Goldoa, coach of the New York Best Defogger, or Empoleon I should say. Very cool logo. And he's got a really interesting team that he's brought here. He's got Donphan, Tapu Lele, Vaporeon, Crobat, Dialga, and Victini. So a lot of threats on his team for sure. Tapu Lele is a big threat. Dialga and Victini are both solid threats overall that can put in a lot of work. Then he's got some bulkier mons like Donphan, Vaporeon. Maybe a support Crobat is what I'm thinking he might be bringing. Let's go over our squad here. So I'm bringing the Dugtrio this week. I think Dugtrio is really solid to be able to trap or potentially trap stuff like Dialga, Victini, and even maybe the Lele and get some chip damage on that, which could be pretty useful. So I think that Dugtrio has a pretty decent matchup in this one. Then we also have Lugia, which is a really bulky mon, as usual. You know, I really do like Lugia a lot more than Ho-Oh, and yeah, really feeling comfortable with it, as it's just a really reliable switch in to just everything in general. So that's nice, and yeah, I do like it a lot. Then we have here Mega DIANCING, just to bounce back hazards and stuff. And plus I figured, like, I saw upon like not just team preview but the matchup itself, that Moonblast plus Diamond Storm, both of those coverage moves, he doesn't have one Pokemon that can really take both of them. So I think that Mega DIANCING can work well in this matchup. It also has Heal Bell to support the team, because I figured that the best way to break down Lugia is to Toxic it, as well as my Giratina, so I figured that Heal Bell would be nice. Then we have actually a Keldeo, which is there for the purpose of just acting as a sweeper this week. So it is a Z-move Keldeo, Calm Mind. I feel like it has a pretty good matchup in this game, because it can definitely take advantage of a lot of slower mons by setting up Calm Mind, and only has to worry about the Crobat or anything Scarfed. But other than that, like, he doesn't really have a lot of switch-ins either to a I guess water fighting coverage, other than maybe Vaporeon, but even after Calm Mind it takes a lot of damage. So yeah, definitely thinking that Keldeo might put in some work here as well. Giratina Origin I'm bringing this week. This time it's going to be a Shadow Ball Toxic set with Rest Talk, so that I can break down fatter stuff like Vaporeon, and as well as maybe Donphan and other stuff like that for his team that he's brought here. And I feel like the Rest Talk is nice because I do have Heal Bell on Mega DIANCING. It synergizes well with this Giratina set, due to the fact that I can switch out while I'm asleep and even just Heal Bell myself up. So that's another option for us in that regard. And finally, Alolan Muck, which is there for being Alolan Muck. Like, this Pokemon is just phenomenal. Always been helping me out. I think it's a great bring for this matchup, because Tapu Lele is there and I'm running an AV Muck. So that's going to be something that can help us stop that Pokemon in particular. And yeah, so I guess my overall game plan going to this match was to see maybe if we can trap some stuff. Like, we could maybe trap the Victini, the Dialga, or even the Lele a bit. We have Muck for that though. I think we have a really solid response to a lot of his mons, and I guess just sort of playing it out from there. Like, he has a potential rocker in Donphan as well as Dialga, so I figured he might lead with one of those two. If he led with Dialga, then you know, we could trap it with Dugtrio. If he led with Victini, we could also trap it with Dugtrio potentially, but I figured my best lead would just be leading with Dugtrio. Figured there was no real drawback from leading with it. Maybe we could get lucky and trap something, but other than that, yeah, let's just get right into it. Hopefully we can chip stuff down with our squad, and let's just see how it goes. And as you can see, he's going to be challenging me. This may or may not be Goldoa's first mistake, and as you can see, he's going to be leading with the Donphan, while we're going to be leading with our Dugtrio. And I figured that this would be a great opportunity just for me to switch out of here, because I don't want to stay in on clicking rocks and rapid spin and all that kind of stuff. I go hard Keldeo because I figured he might click knockoff here, expecting Giratina, but he goes straight for the Earthquake, so my stunt kind of failed here. I'm going to switch out though into my Giratina Origin, as I know that I can take the Earthquake and stuff once again. He goes for that. We are levitating in the sky, so that's pretty nice. He's going to switch out a Donphan here and actually go into his Crobat, as I can fire off a pretty big Shadow Ball, and judging by the damage, this thing is actually pretty bulky. We do get fortunate with the Spadef drop though, so he's going to be forced out here. Gonna go for the U-turn, as you know, we're gonna be staying in and firing off once again another Shadow Ball, but he goes into his Vaporeon, and as you can see, just by this Shadow Ball damage, this Vaporeon is heavily invested in Spadef. So this is a mon that I definitely want to be worn down over time. I don't know if he has Heal Bell or not, but getting a Toxic off on this thing is huge, as we don't really care about status ourselves if he does have his own Toxic, due to the fact that we have Rest Talk. But he goes for the Wish here, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna try to wish up that Crobat once again. I have no reason not to just stay in and click Shadow Ball on this Crobat, so we're going to go ahead and do that right now and get some decent damage on this thing once again. But his Vaporeon is able to heal it back to a good amount of health, I'm going to switch out this time into my Mega Diancie because I don't want Giratina getting chipped down over time too much. He does reveal to have Toxic though, which is nice because I do pack Heal Bell on my Mega Diancie for the purpose of being able to help us out versus status. And now I'm going to go ahead here and Mega Evolve. I don't really feel like scouting for a Steel Wing or anything, but I just figured, you know what, I might as well just click that Heal Bell. I don't think he'd have it because he has Toxic and U-turn, so it's probably Roost and Brave Bird or some kind of stab move. So he's going to go for the Roost here as I get off a Heal Bell, which is nice. I'm able to heal up my Mega Diancie, and now I can't get poisoned anymore due to the Magic Bounce, the Mega Diancie's Magic Bounce. So he's actually going to U-turn out here as I predict the switch out into Donphan, go right for the Moonblast here. I figured there's no way he's staying in, and he actually U-turns out right into that Mon. I definitely wanted that thing chipped, and now he's actually going to go back into Crobat here as I go right for the Moonblast once again. So that's pretty cool. He's actually going to now go right for the Roost here once again, as I'm actually just going to click Moonblast one more time because the way that he was playing his Donphan, I figured he might be Custap Berry, so he might have gone back into it to try to get into that range on my Diamond Storm, so that's why I Moonblasted again. Now he's going to go for the Roost here, and I'm just going to fire off my own Diamond Storm right here, as what I can do now is essentially just try to get a defense boost, which could be pretty useful, but now actually predicting his switch out here, right? Predicting him to go for the U-turn and not stay in after I went for Diamond Storm. So he goes back into Donphan, right? Kind of expected that, and now I'm going to go here for the Substitute. The good old Substitute here is going to be really nice because I'm behind the sub. I can go for the Moonblast now. He apparently doesn't have Ice Shard, so that's pretty cool, and I can knock up the Donphan. I'm a Mega Diancie behind a Substitute, and that is looking really, really dangerous for him because his response is bringing out Vaporeon, and it's poisoned. So now I can go here for the Diamond Storm. I found out from Giratina's damage that this thing was Spadef, so I can go for the Diamond Storm and do a lot of damage here, which is going to be a 2-hit KO. He's going to go for the Skull to break my Substitute, and I can go ahead here and I guess pick off this Vaporeon. So that's, of course, going to get poisoned. That's always nice, but it is indeed in range of a Moonblast. Don't need to risk the Diamond Storm miss, so I can go for that, knock out the Vaporeon here, and he's going to bring in his Dialga. So Dialga is definitely a Mon that we got to watch out for. I just stayed in and clicked Moonblast just because I wanted to get as much damage as I can, and if he decides to knock me out, I could trap it with Dugtrio. He reveals that he's actually a Trick Room Dialga, so I'm like, huh, interesting. Mega Diancie will get to see the light of day once again, because I'm going to switch out here into my Lugia, which will be able to take the hit from Earth Power. It's doing no damage, of course, we're immune. He's going to switch out into his Tapu Lele as what I actually do here. So he gets up the terrain, doesn't matter because I'm flying. I go for the Roost because I wanted to sort of scout what moves his Dialga had, because I knew that Lugia can sponge it and stall out Trick Room. I'm going to switch out here to Muck, and he has Trick Room up with my Alolan Muck in the field. So that's amazing. I'm going to go here for the Pursuit, predicting his switch out, but he actually decides to stay in and Moonblast. So it's a good read on his part, of course. And now at this point in time, I'm like, okay, he may switch out here, he may not, but I just want to play it safe. I'm going to actually click the knockoff on this turn. And he actually switches out into Dialga, so that's why I did not want to click the Poison Jab. So I click knockoff here, get rid of his Draco Plate, so that's pretty interesting to see that item. And I'm going to switch out here to save my Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck definitely very valuable to deal with the Tapu Lele. Go right back into my Lugia, right? He goes for the Ice Beam, it's fine. We take that hit, but we get frozen. We get frozen. And my Lugia now is just standing still. Like, it can't even move. It can't move. GBA out here to hacks us once again. That's crazy. But I'm just going to stay in here to take the next Ice Beam. I'm able to eat that up. And now I figured, you know what? It's about time to start finessing on this Dialga, right? I'm going to go here to Keldeo. He goes for the Trick Room once again. So he makes a good read and predicts my switch out maybe, or just predicts himself to freely get up the Trick Room. But it's time to finesse, okay? It's time. We're out here to finesse right now. I'm going to go ahead here, switch out back into Lugia on the Earth Power. We take that. I'm going to go ahead here, right? Switch out back into Keldeo to take the potential Ice Beam, which I think he's going to go for, which he does decide to do. And we're able to eat that up once again. And now I'm going to go ahead and switch out here back into my Lugia to take the potential Earth Power, which he decides to go for right here. And Lugia is still frozen. It's frozen in new positions each time. But I'm going to switch out here once again back into my Keldeo to take the potential Ice Beam, which he does go for once again. And we actually live on 1%. My plan here was to sack the Keldeo on the last turn and go Dugtrio to trap the Dialga, but Keldeo decided to live, so I can just go ahead and fire up the Water Z with a nice finesse movement with that Z move pose, and go right for the Hydro Vortex to be able to put this Dialga in a whirlpool and knock it out. So Dialga is gone, so that's amazing for us right here. And now he's going to go into Crobat. So Crobat actually is still going to be faster than Keldeo, so I'm actually going to save it. And I'm going to go ahead here to my Giratina Origin, which I know that can probably take hits from this thing, and I have rest stock and whatnot, so I'm not worried. And he goes here into his Tapu Lele. I'm definitely not going to want to stay in on Tapu Lele with my Giratina Origin. So this time, of course, I am going to switch out here into my Alolan Muck. I see that this Lele is leftover, so I know that a Calm Mind set's not going to do as much damage as maybe like a Calm Mind boosting item, so I'm not worried. He goes for the Calm Mind here. And this time I figured it was in my best interest just to stay in and hit whatever's in front of me because, you know, there's no way that he's switching out now, I felt. So I figured that Poison Jab was my best play here. We get a big hit off on this Tapu Lele, and Alolan Muck can actually live one more Moonblast from +1, obviously, so I decided to stay in once again and go ahead and this time click knockoff in case he did want to switch out. But Tapu Lele is gone, and that leaves him with 2 Pokemon left. We still got our Frozen Lugia in the back, which put in the work as we finessed with on the Dialga. But now we're actually going to switch out here into our Giratina Origin on the Victini. Nothing can really sort of break down Giratina Origin that Victini has, especially when this is a physical set with Flame Charge, so I'm not worried. As you can see, he goes right for the U-turn, so he's trying to get more chip on the Giratina because he knows probably that his Victini set probably can't break down the Giratina Origin. I go for the Shadow Ball as he U-turns into Crobat. We get a high roll this time to knock it out, so that's pretty nice. And then last mon's going to be that Victini. As you can see, he's going to go for the Flame Charge once again because otherwise he wouldn't be faster than Dugtrio. And we can go ahead here, click that Shadow Ball to unfortunately not knock it out in one hit, but he goes for the Bull Strike on the last turn just to try to get the para. I feel like he would need that in order to have a chance at actually beating Giratina, but he does not get the para, does not get the full para, and we are able to knock it out with the Shadow Ball. That is going to be GG. It is Emvee winning the game 6-0. All right, we got the 6-0 win. This game got me pretty hyped because definitely a nice turnaround from the initial games that we were having. Like the GBA is still out here to hack us, of course. Like Frozen Lugia, come on GBA, Frozen Lugia. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this match a lot just because of how much it's going to help us in the long run in terms of our differential and whatnot. We're on the climb right now, and I'm really feeling comfortable with this team for sure, with the overall roster. So that's nice. And of course, good game to Goldoa. Shout out to him because on the day we were supposed to play, actually, I was a bit under the weather, so he was kind enough to reschedule based on my schedule. And yeah, definitely fun working with him. So be sure to check him out, and he should be uploading as well. I'm not sure if it's at the same time or not, but yeah, be sure to check him out, and that's going to be that. So thank you everybody for watching. Once again, hope you all enjoy. And yeah, I'll definitely be uploading a Showdown Live this week for sure, because I think APA has a break week. APA has a break week before playoffs. So I'll get a couple Showdown Lives up hopefully this week that you all may like to see. A lot of heat mons that I got in mind. So yeah, be ready for that. And yeah, that's going to be it. So I'll see you all on the next video, and peace.